All right, guys, welcome back to another Complexity Casting presentation. I'm your casting host, Beef, bringing you Game 2 in this best-of-3 series from HoN Tour Cycle 1 Diamond semifinals here between Complexity and Trademark eSports. Joining me as my co-caster is Brized once again. We're going into Game 2 now. What do you think it's going to be like, Brized?
Well, I'm sure tdM's going to go back, look at how they drafted in Game 1, look at the holes they had, and I know Minets is a very, very intelligent drafter. I'm sure he'll patch it up and look to come back strong in Game 2. Meanwhile, Complexity was looking like a revitalized team. They had been falling a little bit short in their matchups against tdM lately. I'm sure that Game 1 win was a huge morale boost, and they're looking to make a statement by taking this series 2-0.
Well, the statement that would be is there's been a little bit of a grudge between these two teams. I know that Complexity's been frustrated not being able to defeat tdM recently, and so they're looking to prove it with a win in Game 2. But let's get it started without further ado. Bryce, you ready to kick off this replay?
Let's do it.
All right, we're going live in 3, 2, 1, go. We're at 9, 8,
Yep.
7, 6.
It is perfect.
All right, so we will get to see the bans and blind bans here this time. B-Kid, of course, favoring banning some heroes like Parasite in that early game. He hates to deal with that hero, and he's been banning Desham quite recently. We'll see if he does choose to do something like that, or if Keeper of the Forest and maybe Wild Soul make it in like they've been doing so recently. We do, in fact, have the blind bans come out. Click back into the screen there, and it is Fade, Ophelia, Wild Soul, and Tempest. Looks like tdM choosing to go with Fade and Ophelia this time, two heroes that had really done a lot of work for Complexity in the last game.
You look at pretty signature hero bans. I mean, obviously those are all really strong heroes in their own right, but you look at Fade, you look at B-Kid's Fade, very, very impactful. Ophelia, Chessie, Tempest in the hands of Minuts, Wild Soul in the hands of Zai. All of these quote-unquote signature heroes, which just so happen to be god-tier heroes in their own right as well, being banned out. So,
yeah, very, very strong. Making it into the lock pool now. Keeper of the Forest is first locked here by tdM, followed up by Parasite and Tundra. So Tundra as well as Keeper of the Forest, these are two heroes that are super, super strong, but we don't get to see them in the lock pool too often these days. Instead, banned, or Tundra even opted to maybe get banned in the standard banning phase rather than the blind banning phase, but we don't see him in the lock pool too often. Keeper of the Forest, you expect this hero to be picked up, though, immediately.
if I saw a drafting phase go by without Keeper of the Forest being picked up when he was available, I would die in shock. In this current game, yes. Especially when locked.
Very, very true. Now, they just blew through that banning phase, so let's clear up the locks real quick. Bubbles, Wretched Hag, and Plague Rider round that one out. 3 heroes with suicide potential. These guys are blowing through this. Slow down. Give us some time to talk about your picks. But the banning phase here, Draconis, Demented Shaman, Dark Lady, Zephyr, Magebane, and Silhouette all being eliminated. So 4 very hard carries there in Magebane, Silhouette, Dark Lady. Actually 5. Zephyr, Draconis, everybody but the Demented Shaman in that banning phase was a pretty hard carry. And now getting into the picking stage. Why don't you tell us about it?
What did I actually see first pick here? First pick Pebbles by Minuts. Pretty interesting in favoring that over the Engineer. I thought he might go for that first. Pebbles first pick, always very powerful. I've seen tdM use it quite effectively. And actually, Pebbles Glacius, I remember we saw this in the game. I think it was Orange eSports versus Vote in DreamHack. And I believe we saw that Pebbles Glacius actually tear the Mag NG lane apart. The Mag NG lane wasn't quite powerful enough in order to kill the Pebbles, and putting yourself up in the melee range of a Pebbles, the Glacius then retorts with the slow, with the stun, and just Pebbles combos in response. See you later. And yeah, they actually crushed that mid lane from what I recall. I think they even lost the game in the end, but they just had such a massive advantage early in the Pebbles versus Mag NG matchup.
Yeah, and like you said, that's what we're going to see here. So it'll be interesting to see if Complexity actually takes that middle matchup, or they might choose to dodge it and maybe go into that long lane like they did in the last game with the Fade and Engineer combination. Polywog Priest now coming out for tdM. This is a hero that we don't actually see too often anymore. And he's still
We're not going to see him in the mid lane if we see him. At least I really don't think so. It does depend on the rest of the draft. of course, but I don't think we'll be seeing a mid lane Polywog Priest here.
Okay, now I have seen every once in a while a Polywog Priest being played in a support fashion against a suicide, just because of the Hex as well as the Tongue Tie enables the escape mechanisms from some of these suicide heroes to be rendered a little bit useless and gives the short lane solo some time to kill that suicide or at least run him out of the lane. Be interesting to see if tdM ran them in that capacity, but only time will tell. Do you think that's a possibility?
I don't think so because they have a Glacius.
Okay, yeah,
There's enough. Yeah.
Always true. Ooh,
I'm not a big fan of it either. I don't think tdM is as well. If I were to be guessing, we'd be seeing Noob G here on Polywog Priest. Or maybe he'll wind up playing Hag. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we will.
Zai would play the Hag. Noob G would play the Polywog Priest, no doubt. I do like the Parasite draft over the Keeper. This instantly asserts very powerful lane control for tdM. Keeper cannot respond to early game ganks from Parasite, and I would pick up Bubbles right here, right now, if I was Complexity, and probably solo him mid if I detected that Glacius plus Pebbles is going to go there.
All right. So that Madman pickup, I mean, it's something that Haxerin has experience playing for sure. And we see him going up even 1v3 on occasion with that Madman, using that stock ability to gather experience in some of those harder lanes and then making some recovery from happen. Complexity picks up the Plague Rider as well as the Keeper of the Forest to round out their team. And with this last lock here for tdM, going to be a suicide hero for Zai, most likely. Bubbles, maybe even the Hag as well. Which one do you think might suit their team a little bit better?
Well, I actually was going to say Hag just because of how much tdM has been running Hag lately.
I don't believe you. I think you only said that because the rest.
No. Zai has been running Suicide Hag like almost every game lately.
No, I know.
I swear to God, if Hag's in the pool, Zai is repping it.
Yeah, Zai also a very strong player on that here. I mean, it seems that whatever Zai plays, he just seems to make work. I mean, I know tdM has been winning a lot recently, and so, of course, your opinion of certain players might be a little bit inflated as a result of it for any winning team. But Zai, 15 years old, just seems to kick ass at everything he does.
Just a very tight play. It's not often you see him make mistakes. In lane, he has very responsive, very on-point micro. Doesn't make too many mistakes, makes big plays all the time. I mean, he's just consistent. You look at him and you don't have to worry about, is this player going to screw up the game? Is he going to screw up the lane? Is he going to make a, game-throwing mistake? You don't have to worry about that with Zai. He seems to always deliver.
Yeah, and especially there on LAN. It was very impressive to see just how effective he was for being so young and no nerves, nothing wrong. All right. We're going to get into this game. It looks like Madman as well as Plague Rider are going to be making their way up to the top lane for Complexity. Not going to be running a jungler, so Chessie is in fact going to be playing that support Plague Rider role. We see him every once in a while play a secondary support role. Franzi, of course, is on that engineer in the middle lane with Magmus. And Keeper of the Forest doing his strong suicide thing in the bottom lane. And what do you make of these lanes for Complexity?
I was gonna say, okay, they are doing the dual mid, right? They are doing the Mag NG mid. If we do see the Pebbles Glacius in mid against it, based on what I've seen before and personal opinion, I do think that lane once again has the advantage, especially with the Parasite. We're looking at a Madman here against a Hag then. Madman will do decently, but Hag will do just fine, and it doesn't really punish the Suicide Hag like a lot of heroes can. And then we're looking at, let's see here, the Polywog Priest versus the Keeper of the Forest. I mean, yeah, it's another neutral matchup. Polywog can spam to get CS. Should overall do fine. He's not going to crush him as hard as a Soul Reaper would, but he'll hold his own. So no lane sticks out to me as necessarily in favor of Complexity. Keeper's not exactly jungling, whereas they have a jungle on tdM and seem to have the lanes overall pretty decently. I do see the Plague Rider is playing that secondary support top, as you mentioned, combined with the pooling, which should eventually happen, and the denies. It should, work out pretty decently for him, actually. So, yeah, top lane will be fine for them. But Hag should be able to soak up experience and be pretty safe overall, not really being in threat of getting killed.
Yeah, the ability of that Flash of Darkness to dig into some great spots, forcing the enemy team to bring out a flying courier in order to scout you out. That can be very, very annoying up there in that suicide capacity. Now, middle lane, the Engineer Magnus against the Pebbles and this Glacius. We've talked about it quite a few times. Glacius actually went into the mana down on quite a bit of mana. He did actually use his freeze on himself. He was spam casting that and let it go off. So
if we were having Moon on this cast, he would be calling that intimidation tactics.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, nobody actually saw it. He did this at about 30 seconds before the game actually started. So,
God damn it, Insania.
Wretched Hag taking some harassment up here in the top lane. And we already saw a keg come out from Engineer. A nice one, actually, onto Limp. Provided a little bit of harassment, but no follow-up. B-Kid, actually, another nice keg right there. The Thunderblast immediately comes out in defense, though. Insania trying to push the enemy back. Hag up here trying to go toe-to-toe with this Plague Rider. And with Plague not having the nuke available to him at level 1, instead going for that Extinguish. And Hag having superior armor at 3.9 armor to the 1.5 of the Plague Rider. Hag's actually getting the better exchange of blows up here. And Chassis down with just that health potion. Maybe
what did he have in terms of regen at the start of the game? What did the Wretched Hag have?
He had Runes of the Blight and a... I want to say just... No, he had to have a health potion.
Did he? I mean, he has 1 CS now, and he says 250 gold. Maybe, yeah. Maybe he saved a little. I don't know.
He had to have a health potion. If he had 150 plus 175, that's 325. Yeah, he had a health potion and Runes of the Blight.
Minus with a Sentry Ward up top.
Actually, Moonman had taken a lot of pressure down here. He is going to be able to invis away the... Minots, like you said, had that Ward of Revelation down there in the bottom lane and was able to drop that and get a little bit of pressure onto Moonmeander. Sorry, when you said top, I looked up there.
I misspoke at that moment. But yeah, great early pressure coming out onto the Keeper.
Bloodlust onto Haxerin, or excuse me, onto Zai as Haxerin brings that one home. Saw that happen there on the mini-map and couldn't get up there quite in time. But just a typical Plague Rider, able to get that nuke off once he is level 2. And Haxerin walks in for the stock barrel roll combination, able to secure that kill onto Hag. Middle lane, Lava Surge should be going out as well as a keg with the turret combo. But like you said, turning it around onto this Magnus, the Chuck goes off. Both players trying to take down that point, but not quite able to get the Pebbles down. Now both points chugging their bottle, and a health potion even going to be applied onto Magnus, who is now back to full health and substantial mana, so ready to fight at any time.
Yeah, we saw there, really, really close to Pebbles getting the turnaround kill on that Magnus. It looked like one more auto attack from each of them would have done it, and he didn't quite stack, do the full combo of the Stalagmite's Chuck there too, so maybe it would have winded up dropping the Magnus. I can't say for sure, but...
Mag was in this when he dropped the Stalagmites. He was in the steam.
Okay, so that's why you have the delayed Chuck. Okay, that's fair enough. But either way, you saw Mag initiate and it actually almost looking sour for him.
Yeah, another initiation going to come in right there. A great Lava Surge followed up by a keg and the turret going to be dropping. And down goes Insania. Franzi picks up the kill with what appeared to be an invisible auto attack. So nice job there with the Engineer, firing that gun without actually making any kind of motion. Moon in some trouble. Tongue Tie going to be coming out. He's trying to get to the ward, to the trees, but actually he's going to be able to get away. I hope that he doesn't run back into this other counter ward, though. He's going to go across the street, though, and once he's on the other side, Invis is once again, he's trying to walk back up there, but he doesn't know exactly where the Rev wards are, so he's being very, very cautious. Noob G hoping that he walks into sight of the Rev ward, knowing that just one more nuke will finish him off, but Moon looks safe for the time being.
Yeah, you almost wonder if they had dust, they should have probably been able to drop. Oh my god, Polywog!
Diving deep!
I'm sure that was one of those cases of Moon, quote-unquote, doing the math. I think he probably knew he could survive just barely, but that looked way too close for comfort.
Moon, you're giving me a heart attack!
Yeah.
If he was able to do that math in his head and realize that he was going to survive at 11 HP, man, that guy's got to be Asian.
Well, I mean, you're looking at how many nukes are 225, 300 damage? You see that stuff all the time. I mean, he might have done it. He might have done it. You look at a 300 damage nuke, you know it's going to do around 225, things like that. So it's we'll see.
Well,
I'm curious.
He's got the balls that I would not have had in that situation.
Okay, fair enough.
Magnus in the middle lane, looking like he might want to set something up on this Pebbles. Engineer is there as well, as Glacius was off checking for the rune. Wretched Hag makes her way back up to the top lane. Zai only level 2 right now against the level 6 Madman who has Steam Boots as well as a Mana Tube now in that short lane.
Yeah, Magnus is doing much better than I thought he would against this. Well, I should say much better. They got the kill onto Glacius, but even in spite of that, look at Pebbles' CS, 34 to 10, 35 to 10, seeing 100 higher GPM than Magnus, despite the kill coming out of the Mag NG lane first.
Yeah, Limp is just being very aggressive, not scared at all of the enemy team with that illusion rune bottled up as well. I mean, he's just sitting pretty in the lane, not scared, knowing that if the enemy team initiates on him, they can actually turn it around, and they will have a very good chance at not only surviving, but getting a return kill. So Limp's just aggressively farming in this lane, even going in for denies up on the enemy high ground. Not scared at all. And it's paying off for him in terms of CS.
Yeah, meanwhile, Zai's sneaking up behind this mid lane. Maybe they're looking to just do a quick combo here. I mean, he can easily get in there. They do not have vision of him.
Oh, there. Limp might be in a little bit of trouble, but Zai's going to come in. The stalagmite's not actually being used just yet. The Chuck comes in. Franzi's in trouble. The Haunt being applied. Chessie actually portals in right there and tries to get something happening. Bottom lane, a little bit of pressure being applied onto Polywog Priest, but here at the bottom rune, Parasite's going to be in some trouble. Mynuts actually will escape as there's not a Lava Surge available for Beakid, and the Complexity team falls back after losing just one of their own. But there was a lot of action there in middle. Quite a few TPs coming in.
Yeah, Mynuts has been very aggressive on this map. And there we saw again, when you go for ganks, even if you don't get them sometimes, especially when you know the enemy team doesn't have a jungler, you can be a lot more aggressive because you know you're not necessarily wasting experience by attempting failed ganks. But Parasite, simply just by roaming around, applying a lot of pressure, even without getting those kills, has been doing such a great job building an advantage for his team in some of the lanes.
Yeah, I could agree with you in that one. Now, one lane that they certainly don't have the advantage in is top, as Madman sitting at 411 GPM. Does have that sustainer already finished. Now they're going to be going on to a kill for Wretched Hag. Barrel roll comes out and does connect. Wretched Hag, down she goes as the stonk connects as well, and Haxorn brings home the second kill. Hag down to 80 GPM in this suicide capacity. Complexity doing a great job of managing this Hag's farm.
Yeah, I talked about how I didn't think it would be possible for the top lane to wind up killing the Hag with a passive hero like Plague Rider, with a hero like Madman without any direct stuns.
Moon in the bottom lane. What the hell is he doing? Okay, Moon was just kind of being aggressive. He got caught out a little bit out of position there and had to drop the root, but immediately broke his invis to auto attack and then followed up with a tongue tie as well as a nuke from Parasite. They do actually get the deny there despite the ward drop. And so Moon, after all that, does get the successful deny. Polywog Priest applies the Hex onto Madman before he's able to get any more stock off. If he changes boots, he will have enough mana for a stock, but Magma's going to be going in. Drops a nice Lava Surge and grabs the last hit as well. Another keg going to be coming in as Parasite is now stuck deep beneath this tower. Support is coming in the way of Zai. The Haunt being applied onto Engineer above the tower, and Magma's going to turn his attention toward that Wretched Hag. No mana on the Engineer for any follow-up spells, but Beacon might be in a little bit of trouble. Ice Imprisonment comes out right there from Glacius, as well as the Chuck. A nice Lava Surge to actually avoid that, although the blink in from Hag, and it looks like Beacon won't be getting out of this one alive. One more auto attack from any of these targets, and Beacon will be able to take the fall, but nothing coming out just yet. The Striders, not too much. There we go. A Chandra Blast from Insania finally does clean that B-Kid up, as he's was trekking across the world, running like a Kenyan, trying to get out of there, but not quite able to.
Yeah, Zai beginning to get points placed into his Sonar Scream now. We saw this game, he opted for 2 levels of Haunt. I'm sure in knowing that he was under level, just so he'd have a little bit more utility early on to make those ganks happen, contribute to the game a little bit more in spite of a slow start.
Yeah, top lane. They're actually trying to get Haxorn down, but instead, Noob G is going to drop. Haxorn wants to go in for more, but in fact has to stalk away. They don't want to give up a kill, as Chessie is going to retreat for the time being as well. Hax continues to farm extremely well at 414 GPM. Now, he's not a player to go for a whole lot of rune cleavers on the Madman, but getting this strong a farm early in the game, I would not be surprised to see one. Minuts actually drops to neutral creeps right there. That's a bit interesting. Meanwhile, Limp goes down in the middle lane. Moonbander's trying to force down this tower in bottom as well, as Zai's trying to hold that off as a solo hag. The Hell Cannon getting to work, and one more auto attack from Moon will be enough. Although the Glyph of Fortification activated, who's going to get the last hit there? It is in fact going to be Moonbander on that tree. What happened with Minuts in the jungle dying to neutral creeps?
I was going to ask you if you saw this. I was focused on bottom in the meanwhile, so I actually missed that. Probably was attempting to kill that stack, and it just didn't work for him, I guess.
There was a big stack. I did see that there was a triple stack there, and he did die within the middle of that triple stack, but I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe he got surrounded.
It's very possible. So, goes down anyway. Complexity currently at the 4,000 gold lead, 3,000 experience lead in this game. They're going to lose their middle tower here, and it does go down in favor of Limp. He brings that one home, putting himself at 1,600 gold, 500 off from that portal key now. Moonmeander going to need to use the invis, and he does drop that, but Dust is applied. Facehug, or excuse me, the Leech comes out from Parasite, as well as the Ice Imprisonment. Glacial Downpour going to be coming in. Now the Facehug comes out, stealing the tree armor, and Parasite is going to take home that kill. So nice job. Actually, Insania brings that one home, getting a 3-kill streak there with the serial killer.
Yeah. Zai, meanwhile, closing in on his level 6. He should have free farm here on the bottom lane. And that's exactly what he needs to bounce back into this game. Once Hag hits level 6, especially setting up those counter ganks, Pebbles is going to be sitting on an early portal key, which will, Pebbles jumping in first. If the enemy team tries to counteract, jump in on that Pebbles afterwards and try to get a counter kill on him, that's when Hag will have perfect positioning for a well-placed Bat Blast, do a ton of AoE damage to this Hellborn team.
Well, Hag's got to get to level 6 before she can land that perfectly placed Bat Blast. She's struggling right now, down at 148 experience per minute, 145 gold per minute as well.
Yeah, she is struggling a little bit, but it is coming, and she is sitting right on the edge of level 6 here too. Meanwhile, Glacius also almost with a maxed out Tundra Blast. I do love seeing that build more than the Ice Imprisonment build. It's just more guaranteed damage. It's easier to cast from a safe positioning. Combo as well with the other AoE that his team provides of Electric Jolt and Sonar Scream combined with the bat. It's everything in general. It's just very easy to turn the fight around with it.
Now, would you say that there is a time for maxing out that Ice Imprisonment, though, before the Thunder Blast in the case of going up against a hero with escape mechanisms, or against this Madman where you get the reveal? Actually, counter initiation coming up here at the top lane. Looks like it's going to fall back for the time being. Limp wants to combo down B-Kid in the middle lane. Stalagmite's going to be coming out in the Hex to follow up. The Chuck will finish him off. Limp brings down that kill. Top lane, though, more action going to be going down. The Energy Field going to slow Parasite, but will it be enough? No, he is not going to get away, and he does go down there. A nice Bat Blast actually coming down, hitting 2 players. The Chuck being applied. The Stalagmite's not off of cooldown just yet. Now he doesn't have enough mana. Actually, does cast the Stalagmites. Double damage Pebbles, taking down Engineer. Couple more auto attacks, and down goes Madman as well. Looks like Noob G and Limp teaming up to get a couple of hero kills there, so that's very nice for them. Moonmeander might be in a little bit of trouble. He's invis for the time being, though with that portal key he might be able to escape. The tower is denied, and now with that denied tower he should be able to walk out of there nice and easy. But he's got to get out fast as Word of Revelations are coming by way of that Glacius, and there he gets out of there just in time as the Word of Revelations are dropped.
You actually see being placed there. He was long gone at that point, nowhere near it.
Yeah, so that team fight, it worked out pretty well for tdM. I mean, cleaning up Haxorn, certainly a boon to their team, and getting the kill on Engineer, certainly not bad. Glacius did drop as well as Parasite, but not a huge deal. Worth it to kill that Madman and delay the Nullstone, which is the route of choice for him.
For sure.
Madman might be in a little bit more trouble once again. Being caught out, the Ice Imprisonment as well as the Glacial Downpour. Leech as well as Face going to be coming out, and Noob G is in position, but not quite able to get the Hex off and be able to secure the kill on Madman.
Yeah, very, very close attempt there, but to no avail. Yeah, actually, really interested to see Complexity sitting on such a healthy golden experience advantage this game. I actually looked at the initial lanes, and yeah, I saw them as having one top lane, but I thought everything else was sort of a little bit more in tdM's favor in the end. Plus, they had a jungler. I thought they were actually, going to be coming out of this early game a little bit more powerful looking, and I feel like they've been playing pretty good given their circumstance. And in spite of that, they're still down quite a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Complexity doing relatively well at this point, especially without that jungler. Maybe a team that doesn't resemble Complexity as much without that jungler. And, of course, with this Madman. Middle lane, Pebbles lands a big combo onto a lot of Tree Dog says, Moonmander says, screw that, I'm going in. The energy field is activated as well as the root. One more auto attack. Franzi takes that one home. Hasted Engineer going to jet on out of there. Tongue Tie as well as Hex being applied onto Moonmander. They want to be able to secure the kill on that one. Thunder Blast comes out as well. And Moon does not have enough mana at the time for that Nature's Veil. Going to be ward trapped as well. A secondary Hex going to be coming in. And Minuts joins the party. The Leech as well as the Face Hug to finish him off. Moon didn't do the math correct there as... he used his last remaining mana to get the invis off on Engineer, while Engineer was hasted and going to be safe anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. The Engineer's ultimate, you can easily see why that hero gets spanned out quite often these days after that mid fight. It just seems like it does so much damage. Outside of that, the massive positioning advantage it gives your team when you press R. And the fact that even with one pointing to it, it just does work. And it's sort of guaranteed from the second you press it. It's not an ulti like Glacius that you just sit there and channel. I mean, you press it and you pretty much get the full effect of it.
Yeah, Engineer, of course, super strong. Now, you see another pause come out right there. If you guys head over to HoNTour.com/stats, that stats page is updated for all the teams playing in HoN Tour. You get to see who has the most creep kills or gold per minute or whatever you want to see, best kill death ratio. I want to see what the average number of pauses in a HoN Tour game is. As at least for the games we've been casting in the past days, we seem to be averaging at least like three and a half pauses per game, as we see even more coming out here. And looks like Complexity is actually going to be losing another player here. Batblast comes out onto B-Kid in the bottom lane. Tongue Tie and auto attacks from Noob G are the only thing left. He takes home that kill, and B-Kid drops for the third time in this game. It's interesting to see B-Kid actually not having the best of games. 220 gold per minute at this point. Normally, with that Engineer Magnus lane, he's able to get substantially better farm than this. Maybe even getting that portal key by now, but he's finding himself 800 gold off still at 18 minutes into the game.
Yeah, pretty selfless pickup coming out there from Minuts on Parasite. I mean, he did go the Striders build this game, just keeping up the constant aggression. Obviously, he's not too high of level because of that, but if you just look right now, he wound up picking a Bound Eye. They're down 4k gold in experience. I think he knows they have a really good ganking team, a really good early burst team fight, and they just want to get that Bound Eye to start controlling resources as soon as possible, because they don't really want to go into the late game at the current pace.
Yeah, I could agree with that one. Madman, of course, farming extremely well. 468 gold per minute. Nullstone already finished up going for that Nullstone, in fact, as opposed to the Runedex. And do you agree with that? I mean, Runedex is just such an effective farming tool, and Madman, of course, the standard is to pick up that one. Actually, Moon would be in some trouble here in the middle lane. Portal Key going to come out, Stalagmites as well as the Face Hug going to be coming in. Ice Imprisonment to finish him off. Limp brings home that kill, boosting himself up to 3-2 and 2, 328 GPM on the Pebbles. But back to what you were saying.
I think it's fine. They do have quite a bit of initiation coming out from tdM. Look at the Face Hug. It gets nullified by the Nullstone. He's pretty squishy. They have the Pebbles, other heroes like that. Massive AoE. He just wants to be able to survive in these fights with the Steam Boots, with the Vestments, with the Nullstone, and now with the Ogrex. I mean, he's just... Nullstone on its own is a little bit of a farming item too. Yeah, you know, he gets to spam his mana. He can farm lane safely, not worrying. But yeah, I mean, I'd say it's fine. All right. I don't think his GPM would necessarily be taking off much different if he had a Runedex in this game. He's just going the safe route.
All right, I can certainly see the positives of going for that route. Now the negatives for Complexity here in the middle lane. The ward drop does take out that middle tower. It's going to be the second tower in the middle lane, of course, to be dropped, and going going to give Trademark quite a bit of mobility in the middle of this map, with the map control of that tower being lost for complexity.
Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, B-Kid here, 200 gold away from his portal, 150 gold away from his portal B. Should be picking it up right here on this next middle wave. I don't think coL needs to necessarily force a fight right away, though. Interesting to see Pollywog's items more than anything. He got his Steam Boots followed by a quick Arcana. Not a portal key, not going for a staff or anything like that. He has a quick Arcana pickup.
So he's going to be going for a Harken's Blade, right?
Harken's Blade is the only option.
Yeah.
Let's be real here.
Yeah. So he will actually be finishing up that Harken's Blade in about another 3,000 gold or so. And at that point, he's going to be able to deal a ton of damage. Actually, no. Harken's Blade, it's just not an item that you see ever. It seems like it needs to have some...
No, man. I'm still sticking with the Harkens. Look at that. They have Plague Armor. They have Keeper Armor. He's like, screw this. I'm just going straight magic damage.
All right. Well, he will most likely be going for a Hellflower. Would you agree?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Hag working with an Arcana as well, so working on the Hellflower himself.
Late game and just hold on to it for mana for now. But
well, that is true. Now that's a possibility.
I don't know. Is this the one potential thing? Probably not. But
yeah, that item actually builds into quite a few things. The Hellflower.
Keys. I mean, he actually can do quite a bit with it there. He might have just gotten it for the stats, for the link. I don't know. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, Arcana does actually provide great stats for the cost and builds into, like I said, quite a few things. Hellflower, Spell Shards, Refresher, as well as that Harken's Blade. So could be a number of those things. I mean, a couple maybe more so than others. That Spell Shards and Harken's not nearly as likely as the other two. But we'll see.
Really quick, I want to say I actually do like Spell Shards more after the change to it. A lot of people were saying, oh, the cooldown reduction is gone, it's not really a buff. I think it's actually, not that I'd pick it up on Pollywog here to get me wrong, but I would like to maybe see the item picked up. Maybe we could see a little bit more early game burst magic damage coming out. It seems like every hero these days has investments.
It's getting pretty chilly outside, as they say. Winter is coming, so everybody puts their coat on. And all that magic damage is reduced. But like you said, that spell charge change, reducing the cost of each recipe by 200 gold, increasing the mana as well as the damage. And I believe there was one other effect on that one. I can't... Oh, the mana regen. Increased the mana regen as well.
For sure, that got way bumped up.
Yes.
I remember trying it now. You really just have infinite mana when you do build it. Before, you would still find yourself being sapped. So... And it does come a lot quicker now and a lot safer. You don't lose gold in the build-up. It is pretty cheap. Just a lot more affordable.
Yeah, the build-up, it's what, 2,200 now for Spell Shards 1? Pretty
I'm going to double-check. I mean, 2375. But it's only 800 gold a recipe following that.
Yeah. So, a nice item. I'd be excited to see that on some heroes. Actually, Madman activating the Shrunken Head that he just picked up. Glacius falls very quickly there with a couple of crits. Moonmeander comes in and drops the ultimate on top of Wretched Hag, but no follow-up to be found, and Hag looks like she should be able to get out of there with another blink. She's going to back up and drop that TP, so Zai is going to get out of there. A little bit of an old... Wow, lots of portal keys coming in there as they wanted to be able to follow up on that. In the end, Glacius the only one to drop there in that top lane.
Yeah, let's make a comment really quick here. Oh yeah, you were commenting on how whether Runed Axe would hurt Madman's farm or not. I mean, he's sitting at almost 500 GPM here, even without it. So clearly, it does not matter for him in this game.
Yeah. Now it's interesting to see with the Madman being so farmed at this point that Complexity only finds themselves in a 1,000 gold advantage. There's more initiation. Lava Surge should try to get out of there. B-Kid being protected by Franzi at this point, but a nice nuke down from Pollywog Priest. Parasite drops as well as the Bound Eye being dropped right there. It was destroyed by the Complexity team. They managed to get a kill onto Pebbles as well, so a very nice team fight, dropping Parasite and Pebbles in exchange for the Magmus. Sure, Complexity's happy with that trade. One of the kills going to Francie and the other one to Chessie, so both supports getting a little bit of farm.
Yeah, yep. Still curious to see what Pollywog does with this Arcana. He is sitting on it now. I was going to say that is a little bit alarming, actually, when you look at oh, Madman is that farmed. He's that way ahead of the entire tdM lineup, and yet the golden experience advantage not that huge for Complexity. That just means the other heroes relative are a lot more powerful, and if they can somehow get a good initiation off, that might mean that Complexity does not, if they kill the rest of the team really quick, take them out, and it's only a Madman left, or maybe if they pick off the Madman early, maybe Complexity will not have the resources left in order to fight them if the tdM team has a much more balanced distribution of gold.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of that comes down to this Polywog Priest, the Pebbles, as well as the Hag getting the farm that they are. Hag now only about 400 gold off of her Hellflower. Pebbles actually going to be working on a Shrunken Head himself. He finds himself about 1,500 gold shy of that one. Polywog Priest now on 2,000 gold as well. So we'll see if he chooses to finish up that Hellflower. And what's up?
I forgot to mention here too. I think that the Parasites, the Face Hug, can actually steal Madman's ulti, the Berserk.
Wait, really?
And we see a really interesting build here coming out with that Void Talisman once again, and Striders, and Grave Locket, and Power Supply coming out on Parasite. Not something you see too often. Very stat heavy. Not able to do too many auto attacks. It's based on good positioning with the cells and a lot of movement here and surviving the initial burst. Yeah, he can transfer the root off and onto the Madman, say if the Nullstone is burned, and also, yeah, he can steal that ulti as far as I know.
Oh, well, we'll have to see if that comes into effect. That was not something I'm aware of. You learn something new every day in the world of buffs, debuffs, auras, and de-auras, and all this other complicated stuff that I cannot be bothered to remember. Complexity, though, is taking it to Kongor, seeing if they can secure another token of life for Haxorn. Before attempting to push something, they'll be dropping that hatchet in just one moment here as Hag actually picks up her Hellflower, so that'll be nice for her to have. Haxorn's going to grab this token, and into his inventory it goes. Complexity takes home some more gold, helping out there, and but they're still only about 1,500 gold ahead. So
yeah, it almost like you look at, and even the experience gap not that huge. You do a quick glance and you see all these double-digit numbers coming out in their levels. You see a leveled 18 Madman, you'd be like, man, it feels like we're 10,000 experience behind or something. The game is actually pretty damn close, as far as resources are concerned anyway.
Yeah, most certainly.
God, I love that Parasite build for this game. It's pretty daring. A lot of people might criticize it, if they lose, but I'm sure he has a method to his madness, a reason he's doing what he's doing.
MyNuts, of course, is a very strong player, been on the scene for quite some time now. Now with the new Trademark eSports team. Looking very, very strong. TP's coming out from both sides here, as actually Complexity is going to be trying to finish this defensive tower, and looks like Trademark going to fall back. They want to be able to defend this, don't want to give up too much HP on that one, as all 5 players are now here for Trademark. It's going to come down to whether Complexity sticks around. It looks like they're going to retreat for the time being.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if tdM can win this anymore. I saw Parasite just sold his minor totem that he was holding on to all game, that good luck totem.
Yeah.
He just had to get rid of it to get a teleport to join that fight, and I think that's what really was holding them into this game, creating that, preventing that gold disparity from spreading even. I mean, we couldn't figure out why it was happening. It looked so unreasonable, but then I saw that minor totem that he was holding on to, so.
Yeah, it's really going to get out of control now. When you start losing those mementos, those keepsakes, the sentimentality can kind of take over, and I think tdM's really they're going to lose their minds at this point. They no longer have anything to fight for, and we can already see that gold lead getting out of control as Complexity goes even 200 further into advantage. I don't even know where they're going to be getting all that gold from. Seems to be just materializing as...
now 23. It's ever growing, I told you.
Exactly.
Hellflower is finished on Polywog, by the way, so... that riddle is solved.
Yeah, with that Hellflower, in addition to Hags, though, going to be very, very useful to have against this Madman. With 2 Hellflowers or even something else to break it, like a tongue tie, or maybe something like a Haunt applied before that Hellflower, they should be able to lock down this Madman. And with 2 of them, they might even be able to do it twice. So we'll see. Madman, of course, is sitting on 1,900 life with that Shrunken Head available, but if you can't get it off, then, well...
yeah, I mean, I don't even think they'll be going for the Madman in the initiation. They might be, but he has the token. If they can just prevent his team, kite him around a little bit, maybe, I don't know, work with what they can, maybe Parasite can wind up stealing the ulti, they can just sort of take him out after they kill Madman's team.
Limp in the middle lane, dropping the stalagmites and the chuck, trying to do a little bit of anti-pushing here. Looked like he might have gotten initiated on for a second, but he does in fact back up. And it looks like both these teams content to trade towers once more. The top tower going to be pushed down for tdM and Complexity. Looking like they already took the middle tower. Nice TPs coming in, though. 4 of them for Complexity. They're actually going to try to get Minuts down, and that Void Talisman might not be enough to save him. He's in the Hell Cannon, so it's going to be pretty hard to get him out of there, but I don't think that he's going to be making it out alive. One more auto attack, and he'll break on out, immediately followed by a Lava Surge. Well played. A barrel roll comes in, and auto attacks to finish him off. Bound to Eye goes to Moon Meander. Now, NoobG did, in fact, finish off that tower, so nice job with that one. He actually finished the bottom tower, and he's pushing the racks.
Oh man, they have no TPs to get back to him. That's going to be a lot of damage coming out here. Should be a little bit over half the tower's HP.
Yeah, and with that ward drop,
oh, he doesn't have the wards focused on the tower still, so they missed a couple of waves, but pretty good still.
Yeah, but nice job forcing Complexity back, and with that, Wretched Hag's going to be able to spy Moon Meander. The haunt being applied, and will he follow it up with the Hellflower and possibly try to make a kill happen? No, blinks out, does not want to overextend, not quite sure where the rest of the Complexity team is, and chooses to back off. Wise decision. Haxerin does have Warhammers now, and he buys both of them, going to finish his Savage Mace, and he's looking pretty fierce in terms of damage now.
Yeah, Savage Mace, and with that token pickup, and we mentioned, yes, they do have Hellflowers, yes, they do have a great Initiate, but still, I mean, with the token, he's in Nullify, all of that initial burst damage, come back up, maybe he'll have his Shrunken Head saved, who knows, and then, you know, but his team has to be alive for him in order to have any sort of free reign here. I mean, the most people he'll kill during his Shrunken Head, 1, maybe 2 if he's lucky and gets the supports in back, but we're looking at a Void Talisman here on Parasite, so pretty hard to catch the Hag. I mean, I would say, yeah, you're looking at maybe 1 hero that he's going to reliably kill. If they get that lockdown, if they get the Polywog Morph, the Hellflowers coming into him afterwards, he will just sort of be very, very killable there.
Yeah, a lot of single target lockdown for that Madman available on the tdM team. Now, it's interesting to note that as much as Complexity's been aggressively pushing this game, they are the first team to lose all of their outer towers. So all of them are down for Complexity. There's still 1 up here in the top lane for Trademark, but Complexity says, forget that one. We're going to go for the base towers. But that base tower not really taking any damage. Nice anti-push coming out in the form of that Electric Jolt, the Thunder Blast, the Chuck, the Stalagmites, the the Sonar Scream. Yeah, just a ton of anti-push coming out from the tdM team.
Right, I mean, and right in that choke point as well, all grouping up. I mean, every single one, except for Parasite, has a nice healthy chunk of AoE there to contribute to these fights, so.
Oh, Magnus comes in. He drops the Lava Surge, but it's only going to be onto 1 player. Madman in the thick of things, trying to go on to Pebbles, who's activated that Shrunken Head. Wards are being dropped as well as the energy field, and Pebbles is trying to get locked down, but Madman not quite able to catch up. He is going to take home that kill, but back home, Insania has gotten the kill onto B-Kid, so Magnus is down. He buys back immediately. Chessie was not able to get the ultimate off on Plague Rider and does not have buyback available. B-Kid will be rejoining the fight relatively soon, but he's all the way across the map for the time being. Parasite comes in with the leech, procs down that Nullstone. The Hex going to be coming on to Haxerin, and in comes Limp. He's bought back. He combos down Keeper of the Forest, and the Token of Life is activated. As the toss comes up, the Tongue Tie going to hold him down for quite a few seconds. Do they have the auto attacks necessary? The Bound Eye is available, and down goes Haxerin. They pick him off twice. B-Kid, after that buyback, not able to get back into the fight. And Complexity finds themselves now down 4,000 gold, 5,000 experience, and on the back foot in this game.
Yeah, I don't think B-Kid realized quite how much counter push, quite how much counter set they were capable of putting out, you know, on tdM there. I mean, they had everything they needed. Tons of disable as the enemy team dives into the base. He only stunned 1 hero, that being a Polywog Priest who was already positioned very, very far back. The Hag follows in with the Hellflowers and all the counter set. You have Polywog later in coming with the Morphs. You know, Pebbles jumping in, disrupting the set. The AoE slows coming out from Glacius. It's just very hard to dive against that team.
Yeah, I could certainly agree with you. And Complexity, I mean, they're frustrated. I know during this time, B-Kid was lagging. Tensions were kind of up there as Complexity had been asking for a reschedule, and tdM did not afford them that one, which was well within their right, of course. But Complexity just kind of wanted to finish this up and showing a little bit of impatience there and perhaps some less than stellar judgment as they did choose to go for the dive into the base, and they got punished for it. They now find themselves down quite a significant amount, and they no longer have the momentum in this game. HoN, of course, still farming extremely well at 500 GPM, well, 490 GPM there. And with that Savage Mace, capable of putting out a lot of damage. You can actually see me connecting in the game right
Hey,
there.
how you doing?
I think I tuned in for just a second here just to see how things were going. But looks like Zai, I mean, with that Hellflower already, going to be working toward a Mighty Blade. And I don't know.
People underestimate Hag's ability to carry as well. I'm sure Complexity runs it all the time with Haxter and using it to carry. tdM, these teams don't, but a lot of times people don't realize just how hard a Hag can carry if she gets that farm. We looked at Zai sitting on 80 GPM. Given the room to farm in that mid game, the lanes that were pushed up, and her flash farming ability using her nukes, she did catch up quite, quite impressively, now sitting here at 350 GPM, the second highest farm on the Legion team, and I think the third highest farm overall in the entire game. So for someone that had such a rough start, Zai's done a great job to rebound into this game.
Yeah, of course, and that's what we talked about at the beginning of this game. Zai's ability to just do so well despite the adverse situations that he can sometimes find himself in.
I will say, despite everything we're saying, this game, he's going in on Magma's bottom. He is using his ulti. Will it be enough damage? One more auto attack is needed, and he gets it.
An attempted disjoint coming out from B-Kid right there, but unfortunately simply was not enough. Zai gets that hero kill, who has finished his Shrunken Head now and sitting on an additional 1,600 gold, so he might even be saving for a buyback should he need it. Actually, Pebble's going to be going in right there with the combo on the Moon. We added the Hellflower, applied the face hug to finish it off. MyNuts gets that one, and 2 players down for Complexity now. Well, Cogor's up, so it looks like tdM is going to be looking for that one. But Complexity, losing some players, finds themselves in a pretty rough position at this point.
I just found out that you cannot steal Madman's ulti. You used to be able to purge it with Electrician's ulti. You might still be able to, and purge Sick in general, but you cannot steal it.
Don't think so. I believe that they changed it back when they changed Hammerstorm's ultimate, so that was no longer purgeable.
Okay, yeah, it's been a while. I know back in the days when I used to heavily run Electrician, that used to be the case, but it's been forever.
Yeah, we get it. You're so old school.
Right. No, I'm just saying, I would still like to see, did they really change it so that ulti is not purgeable now?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm like, pretty damn sure. That's why I was confused when you were talking about that. I'm like,
Someone go run that test and get back to me, because I'm curious now.
Yeah, I'll get Element User on the horn. He does all the bug fixes whenever I see something that I'm like, what?
No, I'm sure one of these hungry viewers will load it up and test it right now for us.
Well, make Element User do it. It's his job.
Okay.
He gets paid for it. That's literally what he gets paid for, is to test all the bugs that we find. So everybody go bug Element User. Tell him all kinds of crazy bugs. He loves fixing that stuff. But Insania is actually very close to a Shrunken Head. He's 200 gold off on Glacius.
Yeah, wow. Speaking of a Glacius with farm, we've seen portal keys, but how often do we get to see a Shrunken Head? And we talked about the really balanced farm distribution, though, coming out from tdM this game, where no hero was really being lagging behind. 50 creep kills on a Glacius, that is not something you see.
Yeah, looking very strong at 200 GPM. I mean, he's just barely behind MyNuts on the Parasite. So Insania playing fantastic at 4, 3, and 5. Of course, getting his part of a couple of hero kills, as well as all the tower push is very useful. Farm in the jungle here with one of these Wild Hunters. He'll be able to finish that Shrunken Head. And even though he's only going to have, say, 1,100, 1,200 life, he'll still be able to get a good deal of damage dealt with that Glacial Downpour in the middle of these fights.
Well, it's just another target on tdM's team. You know, everyone is a threat. Every single one of their heroes is now a pretty heavy threat.
That is true. Complexity is turning their attention toward Kongor now, but the Legion team very keen to what's going on. Double damage bottled up on Pebbles. Chugged. Not chugged. It looked like it was chugged, but that was just the remnants of the rest of the bottle. If Pebbles activates that, he's going to be hitting like an absolute truck with that Shrunken Head, as well as the Soul's Bulwark picked up, and Complexity would be wise not to engage in that situation. We'll see what happens. Haxerin is sitting on 2,200 gold. I don't think that's going to be enough to buy back if he does die in an upcoming team fight or in a gank scenario. So he's going to have to be very careful. Does not have that token of life this time.
Yeah, we're almost looking at 5 shrunken heads here for tdM. Poor NG. Poor Magnus, poor Keeper, poor Plague Rider.
Yeah.
All of these heroes cannot do anything against the Shrunken.
Yeah. And even Parasite working with his Mighty Blade now, so...
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They're going to have 5. They're going to have 5.
That's dumb.
There is a report back. The field crew has tested it. You cannot purge that ulti anymore.
Well,
so, yeah, you're right.
Big shout-outs to the Domain of Pain viewership for taking care of that one. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure to go check out Bryce over at twitch.tv/Domain of Pain. Give him a follow for everything that he does here, helping me out all the time with Complexity Casting. Whenever I need a co-caster, I know who to talk to, and Bryce is always happy to step on in.
Of course, of course. Yeah, it just looks like a little bit of footsie here around the middle lane. Complexity has lost a lot of confidence this game. You could tell ever since B-Kid's dive, deep past the base tower there in middle. Now they're sitting there sort of with their tail between their legs. tdM definitely just turned the game around hard at that point.
The Swagmas has certainly lost a little bit of swag at this point in the game. And Complexity content to just try to keep farming at this point. 2,700 gold saved up on Haxerin, so we'll have that buyback available. I wouldn't expect him to be buying any additional items at this point, just saving up for that buyback. The double damage on Pebbles has just been activated. There's 35 seconds left on that, so this might be the time that tdM is looking for to possibly get an engagement. We'll see if Pebbles does go for one, as a Ward of Sight is very, very aware of what's going on here in the Kongor pit. Has not been counter-warded. I'm not sure if Complexity actually knows just yet that they're standing directly on top of a ward. In comes the combination. Down goes Franzi. The sheep going to be applied onto Haxerin, and down he goes. A nice root coming in from Moonmeander, but it's not going to be enough as the Plague is bouncing around just a little bit, and it's Complexity.
As we talked before, Moonmeander actually rooted himself there. Parasite transferred the debuff back onto the Keeper.
Yeah, B-Kid channeling up the ultimate, and it's going to hit a few players, but the Shrunken Heads are deactivated, so he gets one kill. No, not even getting a kill at that point. Haxerin now in some trouble again on that Madman, and he's going to be falling. Chessie goes down, and Hax might be soon to fall. He wants to take Pebbles with him, but no. Trademark loses Hag, but gains the Genocide even after buybacks, and that's going to very, very quickly secure them a Game 3 in this best-of-3 series. GG well played coming out offensively there for Trademark as the vote to concede does go up. I'm not sure if it's going to pass just yet, but Complexity in a rough position right now. Vote failed for the time.
Not a totally unprovoked GG though. I mean, they did vote concede.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. It's not a Swindle Melons offensive GG. Shout out to Swindle Melons. I know you're watching right now. Thanks for talking with chat and answering their questions. Appreciate that. Casters leave, please. Oh, I remember this part now. I actually do leave at this point. I had just been kind of sticking in the game, but not really watching it at this point.
Yeah, really quick, just to touch on that. I still think that Fortune Bakery versus vote situation was a little bit unfortunate. I think there was a little bit of misunderstanding coming out from both sides. I think it's hard to gauge. I hope they can make it up between them, honestly. I know there was a lot of drama that went down in that game, but in reviewing it from a third-party perspective, I think they can talk it out.
Yeah, I don't think the bad blood there is anything more than just a little bit of players having fun with one another, maybe drama that the viewers, of course, do love to watch. Bringing drama brings excitement, and looks like Complexity wants to possibly get this Kongor down once again as they're making their way toward the big guy, although the Ward of Sight from Insania is still doing work up on this high ground. Magnus goes in to bottle a double damage. He'll pass that off to Haxerin, I would expect, as he drops the bottle into Haxerin's inventory. And once Madman activates that, he's going to be hitting like a truck.
Indeed, but remember, it can be stolen once again by Parasite. Not saying he will, but if that Null Stone is deactivated, he can steal the DD. Outside of that, 5th Shrunken Head is completed by Minuts here on Parasite.
5 Shrunken Heads, officially the most annoying team in the world.
Yeah, often talk about rarely seen.
Actually played a TMM game last week where the opposing team had 4 players, 1 head left, and as a result, they were able to get 4 null stones and 4 shrunken heads.
Yeah, if Glacius winds up picking up a PK, I think I've seen it all.
Yep, I would
PK, Shrunken Head, Glacius coming out in a competitive match. Yeah, it is a rare thing indeed.
Yeah, but we'll see if Complexity somehow manages to take this team fight. They're down 27,000 gold, 17,000 experience at this point. Another pawn is going to be coming out, so that's 6 for 6, I do believe. So any of you keeping track of that stat? 6 for 6, I guess. Our cast today, we're averaging probably at least 4 or 5 pauses per game. Demonic finished up there on Pebbles, looking even stronger now for this Trademark team.
Yeah, they keep trying to poke back into the Kongor pit right here, just being unable to get anything done. I honestly feel bad for Madman in this game, just looking at how much lockdown they have. It is not a fun game.
Trademark had a nice draft. That's what you can say. Getting that 3rd pick, Madman, they did their best to really try to pick some more lockdown heroes, and that Polywog Priest, I do believe, was the 3rd pick immediately after the Madman.
I know heroes like Moon Queen and such were available. I feel like if they had a 500 GPM Moon Queen instead of a Madman in a game like this, they would have been able to do a lot more work with that early advantage.
That's true.
But maybe not. You know.
In Complexity, they are one team that I don't know if I've seen run Moon Queen. I cast a few of their games, but I can't think of a game where I've seen them run it, actually.
Yeah, it's not the most complicated hero in the world to play. I'm sure they can play it. Maybe they just, don't like picking it up, or they had a different game plan in mind. So Madman was their carry of choice for this game.
I'm actually pretty sure that it's harder than Invoker to play. Just a little bit of correction right there.
Moon Queen, okay. Really, harder than Invoker. Difficult. Harder than, Rubik. Yeah.
Torn Chieftain.
Torn Chieftain.
I could never learn how to play that hero. Like, right after that hero came out, I think that's around the time that I stopped playing Dota, actually. So
fair enough.
He's a strong hero, that's for sure.
Also harder than Meepo.
Oh, Meepo. Can't wait until that one makes it in. But, as we do have more ancient killing going on from Complexity. Actually, it looks like a Lava Surge is going to be coming up with the Shrunken Head being activated by Glacius. The turnaround, the Hex is going to come in, as well as the War Drop, and this is it! The Energy Field comes down and a nice root being applied, but the Tongue Tie comes out onto Keeper of the Forest, and he's going to go down. Wretched Hag activating her Shrunken Head, but still taking the auto attack damage. The Stalagmite's catching one. Engineer going to drop right there. Keeper of the Forest shortly to follow, and will they follow it up with this Plague Rider? He's going to go down as well. BK channeling the ultimate, lands a big eruption, takes down Zai on the Wretched Hag, but turning it around onto this double damage Pebbles. Pebbles is so close. One more auto attack, but they cannot actually secure the kill onto him. He's able to portal key on the way. Haxer trying to TP on out of there. A nice Void Talisman onto the Parasite, making sure that he does not get killed. But with the Bound Eye on Glacius, they are killing Beakid while he's in that Steam Bath. 4 players down now for Complexity. Only Haxer surviving. The 3 remaining players of Trademark trying to get a little bit more counter warding done, and might turn their attention to Kongor once the Pebbles does heal up.
Yeah. I have a feeling like it would be fruitless. I'm interested to see what's going on here with the Hellborn team. I mean, we did see the concede vote. I wonder who said, hey, no, I want to fight this one out. I want to fight this one out. My bet's probably on Haxer, if anyone here. I mean, he's the one sitting on the safe farm. Everyone else on that team might be feeling a little bit suffer, sitting on sub 200 GPM in a 50-minute game.
Oh, jeez. I didn't realize it had gotten that bad for Complexity. 226 GPM, leading the back of the pack there is Moon.
Glacius is almost out farming the Keeper that has 150 CS.
Yeah,
that's some map control for you.
That's rough. That was rough for sure. And I'm trying to... we started this at... I don't know what time we started this cast at, but I just realized it's getting on to be close to 11 o'clock here, and I'm still yelling in my apartment complex, so I'm hoping that I'm not going to wake my neighbors up. I got to keep an eye on my phone to make sure that my neighbors don't text me and say, hey, Kyle, shut the hell up. It's going to be close to midnight. Stop casting. But we'll finish out this series. Of course, Complexity takes it to Concord once again. Every time they go over, though, they seem to be getting the raw end of a deal. as once again, Minuts is going to be coming in. He has been scouted out by the Tree Dogs, though, in Complexity going to fall back for the time being.
Yeah.
Madman in some trouble. The Hellflower being applied. A nice Lava Surge catching 2 players, though. The Tongue Tie is applied onto Magman, as well as the Bat Blast coming out, and down goes Madman. The wards are dropped, as well as the Keeper of the Forest Ultimate. But will they be able to secure any more kills there? The Engineer with a nice keg, but is he going to be able to get out of there? Beacon charging up his ultimate, and Haxrin does buy back. Beacon with a decent eruption. Parasite activates the Void Talisman, though, and they're going to be falling back. All 3 of the portal keys are being used. Glacius out there in the front lines, but not going to be engaged upon just yet. The wards are still doing a little bit of work, but tdM, with all 5 players up, playing it slow, they do not want to give up any free kills and possibly lose their lead.
Yeah, and Glacius did finish off that portal key, as we were talking about before. I thought the initiation of that fight was beautiful, with the double Hellflower coming out from Hag and Polywog onto the Madman at the exact same time. Caught him before he...
Oh, man. Magma's in some trouble. The Hex is going to be coming out right there. The Sheep as well as the Hellflower being applied. And with B-Kid down, leaving just 2 members of Complexity alive, 2 to quickly res, but with a major stun down. Yeah, GG well played come out actually from only Pebbles, as Complexity just concedes that game, clearly frustrated, and moving on to Game 3 in the series. So nice job from tdM to actually bring this one back. We're going to the rubber match, see who's going to face Gary Johnson in the winners finals of HoN Tour Cycle 1 Diamond. Surprised.
Yeah, looking forward to it in general. Very fun lineup from tdM that game. They had 4 blinks if you count Hags, built-in blink there. And a face HUD, 5 shrunken heads, total mid-game lineup, but it scaled just fine. It was looking quite dangerous once again with Madman leading the charge. I think he had like 200 GPM higher than almost anyone into the game, but he just could not deliver as a carry in that situation. So well played by tdM, sort of mitigating his effectiveness, and yeah, we'll see what happens in Game 3.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get that game loaded up, taking a very quick break in the series. Let's get this scoreboard updated, as 1-1 is now the score. Guys, quick break. Going to get the next one set up. This has been Complexity Casting with Beef and Bryce. Check out Complexity Gaming and let them know how much you like these casts. If you want to see them keep coming, let them know over at ComplexityGaming.com, on Facebook at Complexity Gaming, and on Twitter at Complexity Live. While you're over there on Twitter, you can check me out at BeefPompie1 as well. Make sure to follow so that you get all of your Complexity HoN updates whenever we go live here at twitch.tv/ComplexityHoN. Bryce, any shout-outs before we go to break?
Nope. Shout out to Vote and to tdM, tdM, Complexity, whoever. Okay, no, Vote is the one that qualified. It's the winner between Complexity and tdM. So yeah, shout out to Vote for being the first to qualify then. Yeah.
Looking strong in their series against Fortune Bakery. I'm excited to see them play the winner of Game 3, which is coming up next here on Complexity Cast. Guys, quick break. Don't go anywhere.